After facing severe criticism for its earlier plan, the BMC has now released its revised draft development plan 2034, and the new plan has several provisions that make or promise to make redevelopment in the city easier, while also opening up large plots of land for development. But critics say it still has flaws and will lead to the city losing its eco-sensitive zones. Well, who's really right here and who's not? Joining me today, I have Dharmesh Jain, Chairman and Managing Director, Nirmal Lifestyle Limited. Dharmesh, welcome to the show. Also, Kalhan Mattu, Director, Planet 3 Studios, Architecture Private Limited, who's been working on a lot of social projects and with the government in close coordination at state level. Now, I'm going to first come to you, Kalhan, because I know whatever Dharmesh says, there is this whole skeptical world who believes that developers are only out to grab land. So maybe I might go to you first and say, all the headlines that I'm reading is saying, oh my God, the salt pans are going to be lost. What's going to happen to RA? Really, the eco-sensitive zones are going to be gobbled up in these land-grabbing mafia, which is the BMC, the developer, and everybody else. Yet everyone wants affordable housing in Mumbai. So how is it going to be possible? This development plan, does it take care of something?
Not too much, I'm afraid. I think we're losing another opportunity to do something big with the city. I think the fact that RA has been looked at in a very narrow kind of perspective, only putting a metro yard over there, which I think it should not be the first place to do it, and then hands off for the rest of the development. I think that's not the way the city needs to think about its future. For a city that is so short of public spaces, that's so deficient in public infrastructure, I think we need brighter ideas. I think we need more imagination.
So did you find anything good in this development plan? I mean, remember how long it took to actually make the first draft, and it was junked because there was such an outcry. The fact that they've taken it was open for public participation, and now you have another draft. Why has it still not met its objectives?
I think it was well intentioned for sure, but it had some factual issues that they had to deal with technically. But beyond that, what I'm concerned about, I'll just limit myself to the question on RA. I think the city really needs to have a good conversation which is intellectually driven about our public spaces and how they ought to be and how our green spaces ought to be and how that sustainable development has to happen, rather than just get into emotional discussion, which most of the green eco warriors tend to pull us into.
Okay. Dharmesh Jain, now of course we shall allow you to speak, because we've got Kalhan saying that, look, let's not look at emotions here, let's actually look at the facts and say what is good for Mumbai. And now the biggest issue, we're here on the property show trying to get people homes at the right price, which has been the biggest challenge. Tell me, how do you view this new development plan 2034? Do you think it addresses some of your key concerns for bringing right priced home inventory into MMR?
So, Manisha, as you rightly said, I think there is going to be this balance that we'll have to create between development and creating the right ecosystem for Mumbai. And I think all views are very important to be brought on table, and all of us should sit together. So there is this one view that you need housing in Mumbai. I have this very, very strong view that you need employment in Mumbai. I think the big concern for me as far as Mumbai is concerned is that we are not creating enough jobs. So we have to come up with multifaceted, imaginative solutions on the table where you create jobs in Mumbai. So we really have to see how we can develop office spaces in Mumbai. We've lost out big time on creating good quality office spaces in Mumbai. We need to create retail in Mumbai. Again, we were talking of this retail revolution coming into the whole of India and Mumbai in particular, and it's not taken off. We need to create, specialized job opportunities. Today is the hub for films as far as the whole country is concerned. So film and entertainment can create a lot of jobs. Similarly, there are 10 suggestions that we've as MCHI given where we feel that jobs can be created. Again, contrary to belief, I think one of the main thrust of MCHI has been that we really need to create green spaces, and we also need to give a thought on how green spaces will be created and utilized. I think there is a serious problem with the way we are utilizing our green spaces, and MCHI has offered that we'll come up with plans for the green spaces that we are creating and how we can creatively. So today, we just don't have any playgrounds in Mumbai, and that's a big concern for me, that children don't have access to playgrounds. So every recreational
exactly
ground that we have can also
saying.
become a very good playground for, and I'm sure both can coexist. So,
Absolutely.
as I
All
said,
right,
I think it is very, very important that we have all views on the table.
So here's my question, gentlemen, and let me just read out some of the, guidelines, because we've had enough discussion and debate, and this time again, if it goes back to the drawing board, you're going to lose more and more time in this, which this city can totally ill afford. Revised draft now allows for a network of roads in salt pan lands, which has become a big issue. At least activists are saying this is not a great idea. No development zones, reservations on the land of existing buildings has been deleted, which includes reservation on land of cessed buildings, reservations on mill lands to be dropped to boost redevelopment, which is a very important point and was needed. I mean, there's nothing happening. That land needs to be unlocked. Affordable homes to be built on spots earmarked for public housing and high-density housing. So, you can say that these are earmarked for high-density housing, but then somebody has to build them as well. Metro, car shed, and zoo to be allowed in RA Colony, MMRDA, to have the final call on its removal. So, out of that entire document, these are some of the key points. If I were to ask you, Dharmesh Jain, what is it that you like out of this? Is it all, sure, all views have to be taken. Now the time of views is over. This is the document you've got for Mumbai. You are a hardcore Mumbai developer. What do you like out of this? Will this allow you to build affordable or right-priced homes?
So clearly, the emphasis on affordable housing is what I like, and we really need to, read the fine print and see how we can implement affordable housing in Mumbai. I think Mumbai, what we also need to understand is that of all the large metropolitan cities of the world, probably Mumbai has less than 25% area when you compare it with most metropolitan regions of the world. So we need to understand that Mumbai has serious specific issues related to Mumbai, which are unique to Mumbai. Very, very clearly, when you highlight all the issues, when I say discussion is that normally when the plan is published, then you have suggestion objections, and then so those suggestion objections are come into discussion. So as you rightly said, I think Mumbai can ill afford this again going back to the drawing board. It is very, very important that all views responsibly come on the table, and we try and create common consensus amongst Mumbaikars, but Mumbai desperately needs its next development plan. The last one came in 1991. So it's been 25 years for this new plan to come in, and it is very important that we have a new development plan for Mumbai. As I said, I'm very clear that there is solution for each sector. Obviously, every sector will have to get some and give up some issues that are important to themselves. But holistically, we need a new development plan for sure.
Okay, so you're saying new development plan, you've gone through it. Kalhan, tell me, are right-priced homes now possible? You've got salt pans, like we were talking earlier before the show started, and you said, let's recognize Mumbai is not a salt-producing city. So, there shouldn't be extreme emotional decision on why salt pans are being gobbled up. Just the fact that quickly allow for infra to come up, quickly allow for redevelopment to happen, at least in terms of the direction that it's taking, this is what Mumbai needed, isn't it?
Prime Minister has this ambition of housing for all by 2022. How are we going to achieve it? Where is the land to do that? I think it's opportunities like the salt pan land and a few other things like MBPT land that is available that we can still look at, and that can actually in a Mumbai context solve it for us. But we need some boldness over there. We need boldness in thinking. We also just need to act on what is essentially there. A lot of that land can technically be developed, and that there is no argument on that. It's just that government needs to take that first step. Now, like I said, Mumbai does not need to produce salt. Mumbai also does not need to hold up development just because there is a notion of environmental insensitivity here. I think we need to have a clear conversation about it. I think we really need to distinguish between salt pans, which are essentially salt pools, and mangroves for that matter, which are rich ecosystems. So I think that kind of conversation has to happen. And finally, we owe it to the city and the people. In a place where 65% of the people are living in slums, I think the necessity of the moment is to deal with that elephant in the room.
All right, I'm going to conclude there, Dharmesh and Kalhan Matu. This is just the beginning. I mean, this is the first noise which is getting created with the new draft plan. Like you said, a lot of suggestions are going to come in. We will see which way the wind really blows and how long will it take for the development plan to actually become a document for implementation. Gentlemen, thank you very much, and we'll have you up again to discuss Mumbai development plan several times over the next few months. I'm sure of that.